Hello, here's a quick video on the reaction cart. Here is the stirred tank reactor. You can use it as a batch or CSTR. There's the control for the RPM and the temperature. The temperature measured in the back there. You can see if I move up and down in the thermal well, the thermocouple, you can see that there. That's the thermocouple. There's the drain port. You can open that when you're ready to drain. It'll go out to the drain. When you do drain, it can be vapor locked, so you can open this to make sure there's air in there to allow it to drain. To pump into and out of the reactor, you're going to use these ports here. These guys go in, and then there's one of them, it's the longer one that goes all the way to the bottom. You'll use that one to pull material out. So you can pump in and pump out. And on the out, you can head over to the spectrophotometer to measure the adsorbance. And to zero this guy, you're going to use a black cuvette that's here in the back and one that's filled with distilled water or another liquid of your choice. Notice there's a frosted side and a clear side. Make sure the clear side is in the path of the light, and you can index it here with this guy, so I can index it all the way back to the black. Then I can go to transmittance. It should read 0. If it doesn't, you can hold this down. Then you can go to adsorbance, and you can go to your 0 adsorbance index, which in this case is distilled water, and it should read 0 as far as adsorbance goes, which it does. And then you can use the flow cuvette. Notice there's a port that goes all the way to the bottom and then comes back out the top, and you want to make sure this doesn't have any air bubbles in it. And then there's also this one here that I've got that's just full of red dye. Now I'm going to index it in this case just to the red dye port, and it should read about 1.7-ish around there at 510 nanometers. You can pump into and out of the reactor with these peristaltic pumps. It should read int on the left. If it doesn't, you can hit the mode button, and here is, you can turn it so it's rotating as fast as possible to move material quickly, temporarily. Hit that again, turn off, and then the play button after you've set the RPM that you desire can be used to just turn it on, and it will run at that rate. You can also change the direction with this button here. Change the direction, and when you put the tubing in, make sure it's a master flex tubing piece, and that you don't have it crimped nearby any of the connectors. You can load it underneath those tabs and then move it all the way to the right, and you're ready to pump. There's a jacket on the reactor so you can use different temperatures, and that it's kind of hard to see, but there is a little bit of fluid down here of the heat transfer fluid. That's propylene glycol and water. As you use it and pump it in on these ports here and then up and out over here, it's going to fill the jacket with that heat transfer fluid and run over here to the heat exchanger or chiller. And you can set this to different temperatures. Right now it's set to 30 degrees and its current temperature is 21, and you can hit the run button and it will heat up the material, the fluid, to 30 degrees, and which will heat the reactor. Another tip, here is valves on the feeds for the dye, in this case the red dye, and the sodium hypochlorite, the bleach. You want to change these from off to on. These are not full right now, but they will be when you use them. Make sure the lid is loose so you don't collapse the plastic with the pressure from pumping fluid out of it without replacing it with air. That's the reactor cart. Enjoy.